Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jaystee. These are Jay and The Stees, and we are the Jaystee Quarantine Crew. And welcome to the very first, the only, at the moment, official Jay and The Stees podcast. Now, some of you may know us, you may have seen us on videos around the channel, a few of us more so than others. I think we're just going to take this time at the start of the first podcast to go around the circle, to introduce ourselves a little bit, to get you guys a little bit more intimate with the Jaystee production crew. So, Quinn, would you like to take things away? Would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, I'm Quinn. I don't have a currently functioning camera, which is very poor on my half. But if you're familiar with the Jaystee YouTube channel, I've played characters such as Mitchy J, the absolute wonder, Mitchy J. Played Bread Boy, and I've played the legend Cliff, the last place.
Legend, absolute legend.
The absolute legend Cliff, who cried on camera and lost the fishing competition. So yeah,
The worst fisherman on the crew. Thank you,
But we
Cliff.
don't talk about that anymore.
No, please.
That's ancient history.
It hurts.
Marty, you're up next.
Oh, brilliant. Yes, you may know me as Marty from Fishing with the Boys, as well as making iconic return appearance in the Jay and The Stees Christmas special. You may also see me lurking and doing Russian dances in the wonderful Armageddon special. Proud member of the Jay and The Stees and the Jaystee production crew. Happy to be here.
Kevin?
All right, I'm Kevin. Unlike the other guys, I came a bit later to the Jaystee production crew / Jay and The Stees. I made my Jaystee debut in the magnum opus that is the Jaystee Christmas special, playing Santa. That was quite something, and been in the crew ever since. Been going to meetings, suggesting things here and there, talking some shit, just the usual stuff, and working on some own things, some of my own ideas for the Jaystee channel, which I'm sure we'll get into later.
Some very exciting.
That's me.
Very exciting things are coming out of that man's brain, which I'm sure that we will get around to in the near future. Tano, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hey, I'm Tano. I was one of the early members of the Jaystee production crew, I think. But I do a lot of the sound and music editing and stuff for the channel. With you guys, everyone's help, really. But that's
mainly him. Tano.
Mainly.
Pretty much every single song, every piece of music that we've ever released has all come from the fingertips of this man.
We can't just sit around and just go da 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 next to you, and you make it into good music.
Yeah, it's very true. Very true.
If any of you listeners are very long-time viewers of this channel, way back many years in Diary of a Terrorist, he's the Zooey Mama guy. That's him.
That's the guy.
Oh,
Yes.
Throwback.
What a classic video. That is probably, from a creative standpoint, that is my favorite piece of content I've ever made, is the Zooey Mama segment of that Counter-Strike video. That trumps Fishing with the Boys, it trumps the Christmas special, trumps the Armageddon video, it trumps everything.
Zooey Mama.
Zooey Mama. If you haven't seen that video, you better go back, pause the podcast right now, go back, watch it, and then you'll be able to catch yourself up to speed with where we're at. Alex, take it away.
All right. Well, you may know me as Chav Jesus in the Almighty Christmas special. With a little bit of this. I've done a little bit of work behind the cameras for some of the videos for the Jaystee channel. Also, I made a little appearance in the Counter-Strike video. It's a blink and you'll miss it moment, but if you're a true fan, you'll be able to see it there. But been a part of it for a wee while now and loving it.
Nice. Well, obviously, I'm Jaystee, Jack, as some people have come to call me. I've been doing the Jaystee production crew since the start of the Jaystee channel many years ago. Coincidentally, I was the founding member. That's why it's named after me. And yeah, no, the reason really that we're doing this podcast today, and the reason that we're changing things up, I guess the most pressing reason in the world really is that the coronavirus has ravaged the nation, ravaged many nations, in fact, not just our own nation. And as a result, we're from New Zealand, obviously, so New Zealand has locked down all of everywhere, really. Everyone's stuck at home. We're on a government-sanctioned quarantine at the moment. The only way you're allowed out of your house is if you are going to go exercise or if you're going to go to the supermarket. Otherwise, any other reason, police will literally follow you around the place to make sure that you're not doing anything that's not those two things. And if you are doing something that's not those two things, you stand chance of getting arrested or even shot and killed. I've heard many reports of people walking to go visit their grandparents and being shot on sight. So it is a scary time that we're living in these days.
Stay safe, New Zealand.
Stay safe, New Zealand. Now,
It's one of those lines of people buying ammunition, eh?
yeah.
It's
Does it happen in New Zealand? Oh man, we're already off to a strong start with the false facts.
I mean, I don't know about lining up to buy ammunition per se, because I don't think they sell ammunition out of supermarkets. Although that would be a good business plan.
No, out of like the gun stores before they closed. I'm just thinking, are they doing that so they can go hunting and sustain themselves, or is it kind of just like a?
Well, you're not
like
allowed to
a
leave. So I don't know how you'd be able to go hunting.
Yeah,
'Cause
you shouldn't
well,
be hunting.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Me and my dad, once we run out of food, we're getting our guns out. But you guys have all been to my house. You're fully aware we've got a lot of rabbits and we have a lot of bush to our neighbour.
I thought you meant you were going to go take your guns around to the neighbour's place. You're going to go start raiding people. You're like, all right, fuck yeah, time to get the guns out, boys.
All right, we've
Oh,
run out of
yeah,
food.
of course.
I guess Miss Thomas has some bread next door. I remember her. She's got a chicken coop.
Yeah. Not going to shoot a rabbit and cook it up. Going to shoot the neighbours and steal their
Steal their
food
bread.
lot.
I mean, if you really like
Don't
lost all
tempt me.
hope and didn't give a damn in the world, you don't even need the gun. You could just run around to someone's house and just start going, everything, and they'd be like, "Get away!"
Social distancing.
He's within 2 meters. Get away from me. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, just stand within 2 meters of someone, and that's more threatening, I'd say, than pointing a gun at someone's face in today's
you
day
are
and
the
age.
weapon.
You.
Go to the supermarkets, just stand like right next to somebody and see what they do.
Have you seen the lines outside supermarkets?
Yeah, dude. Mum went yesterday and Charlotte went today as well, and apparently it was just like nutty.
Yeah.
It was just like lines all the way out to it, and they're just only letting a certain amount of people in.
And they're made longer
Right.
because everyone in the line is socially distancing
Yeah.
themselves from the person in front and
Yeah,
behind
it's the
them.
funniest thing to do.
Yeah.
It's about a trolley's distance between each other, so people are pretty onto it.
People are learning.
Trolley in the
No one's
yeah.
walking around with a tape measure and just like making sure they've got a radius around them.
Which-
Just take a hula hoop with you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Get like knives taped on the end of the hula hoop and just like stay
2
the fuck
meter long
away
knife.
from me. Yeah, no, I'm surprised as like how much everyone in New Zealand or the majority of people are pretty much all on the same page with like social distancing and quarantining and stuff. I've seen heaps of stuff posted up on community Facebook pages about people breaking quarantine and like everyone's just ganging up on them and calling people out, calling the police on
Which
people.
is good. Which is like what needs to happen, eh? Because
Yeah.
those people are just being dicks.
Yeah, oh yeah. How are you guys keeping busy
Like a
during the
bit of
quarantine?
propaganda, though, isn't it?
What do you mean propaganda?
I feel like, hey, little Timmy, are your parents going out when they're not supposed to? You can tell me. You can tell me if they're not.
Come on. Tell me. It's
Go
fine.
on.
It's fine. I won't tell anyone.
Don't worry,
Safe
you
with me.
can tell me.
I won't tell anyone. Except the police, Timmy, you stupid idiot.
Your parents are going to jail.
Jail.
Later, Timmy. You got to live a life on your own now.
So it froze.
Orphaned. Just like.
What I think's been interesting is there was something on the radio that we will soon be on after the inevitable success of this episode. But they were talking about the idea, a little bit into speculation territory, but that's what we're here for. About the idea that now that people are like, wow, society doesn't completely fall apart and like slam into the ground, but we all like work from home. That this is going to like revolutionize and modernize the workplace, and they're like maybe like talking to your doctor over the phone or over Skype is going to be like the norm now, and maybe all these businesses realize, well, actually, it's a waste of transport funds and it's a waste of people's time for us to actually. We don't need to do the technology can fill the gap, and we don't need to do all these things in person. Do you reckon? Will the world be forever changed, boys?
I think so. I definitely think so. I don't think things are going to be the same running out of this. Everyone's going to be locked in a house for 4 weeks, man. People are going to come out like little gremlins anyway.
That's the thing, yeah. Like, an economic standpoint, it's all well and good. The job industry, or, offices, people, there's so many people that just come to offices for the sake of doing it, just because that's the way that it's always been. So that will play into it. But also from a social standpoint, you've only got very limited interaction with people. It's going to be the same 3, 4, 5 people that you see every single day for the next 4 weeks minimum. So it's like there's going to be some social repercussions coming out of this. There's no way that once this quarantine's dropped, everyone just goes back into the world and it's like, oh, sweet, we're back to normal, guys.
And being gamers, honestly, we're lucky we got Discord, eh? I mean, this is brilliant. I mean, coming home and just jumping in a call, talking to your mates. Who has that kind of shit, eh?
Yeah.
I think this is so key.
Where are you coming home from?
The kitchen.
Ooh, called out. I hear the sirens now.
I gotta go, guys.
No, it's interesting how people have found ways to keep socially interacting, because I've seen that Bear Buddy app that's been going around, where it's basically so it's basically just like Snapchat. It links into your Snapchat, and you take a picture of yourself when you're drinking, and you send it to this. I don't really know how it works, but you say that you're drinking, and then all your friends that are drinking in isolation on their own, they can join in drinking with you, so you can drink together from home. It
makes you feel like less of an alcoholic because you're not drinking it yourself. It's way better.
Yes. Justification for addiction is what will get us through.
Exactly, that's all we need.
I saw that popping up on Snapchat. There were at least 2 or 3 people who had that My Bear Buddy swipe up or something, but I was just a little skeptical.
No? Did you say no?
Did you not swipe up?
I didn't.
Are you not my bear
first
buddy?
of all, I wasn't drinking. But I'm just a bit skeptical when I see those things because I think it's going to lead to viruses and malware or some shit like that. Or
you can't trust it if Jack
scam,
sends you a
someone trying
Snapchat.
to take advantage of us in this vulnerable time.
Yeah.
So good to know it's a legit thing.
Not only is there air viruses, there's also computer viruses.
No.
Exactly.
You have to social distance your computers, guys.
If you don't hold your phone at least full wingspan away from your face, then you will be infected.
Hello.
Yep.
Imagine that.
This Bear Buddy thing, is it a video? Or is it just like Snapchat, just still images?
It's exactly like Snapchat, like the exact same as Snapchat.
Okay. So the reason I asked is there an app? Is I thought you were referring to the national craze of people giving things kids to do and putting bears in their windows and on their properties, like teddy bears for people to spot. I thought you were saying there's an app for that already, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. But no,
it's not that bear. No,
it's
not that bear. It's alcoholism.
It's real bear.
Yeah, it's an app to mask alcoholism, really. But I have seen that the bear hunt, is that what it's called? The teddy bear hunt?
Yeah, I thought you meant there was an app for that. Yeah.
No. Although that is a business idea.
There is one, but it's not that though.
Oh yeah. Quick, boys. Write it
Someone
down.
who can make apps. Someone quick, whip one up. I wonder how that would work. Would it be like geocaching? Like you put in the location, you got to go find. I mean, because that would just encourage people, to go out.
It'd be like Pokemon Go, but finding
it's exactly like Pokemon Go. Yeah. Well, from what I've seen of it, I think it is like that. Yeah.
Actually, on that topic, how much do you think that the Pokemon Go community is genuinely struggling right now?
Ooh,
Pokemon Go community still a thing.
Is there still a Pokemon Go community?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's actually gotten much better. It's quite big now. But seriously, they won't be able to go anywhere.
No. All their progress will
They'll
be
have to
halted.
spend their real money on their incense or whatever it is to bring Pokemon to them.
They just have to go for a run.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if Pokemon Go then will change their system to make it more appropriate for people that can't leave their houses. Like if they'll just put Pokemon, if they'll just replace it with Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Your toilet is the Pokestop. There's another one right down in the living room.
Yeah.
I
good
think people in
exercise.
cities will be not that affected. I remember when I was living in town, people could just like get up and just like walk around the hall and just go like ride the elevator, and that's enough to catch Pokemon. I think living rurally, the rural Pokemon hunters are having it tough.
Ruined us anyway.
know
Yeah, rural Pokemon
We
hunters have
couldn't
always
play.
had it tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
I
couldn't
could never
play.
play it.
Yeah.
There's no Pokemon where I live.
Yeah, it's basically just the rich get richer. It's just cannibalism rubbing it in there.
So there's the Pokemon Go Bug Chasers edition, whereas how many viruses can you catch when you go out?
It's a little checklist with a whole bunch of different
Yeah.
Coronavirus, yeah,
I
influenza,
got one in my
yeah.
body, one on my
Bug
phone.
chasers.
AIDS, yeah, that's a real one. Nice.
COVID-19 is just like a wormhole. You know, you find it everywhere.
Yeah.
You need one of those rare ones.
Yeah, see, that's like your common Pokemon. That's like
Exactly.
your elite or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder what would be
That's
the
your
equivalent
Rattata.
to a legendary Pokemon. What disease would be the equivalent to a legendary Pokemon? Oh, I think we lost Kevin.
We lost Kev.
Yeah.
He'll come back. He'll come back.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't know what would be. I'd feel like an STD. 'cause
COVID
you're
got
not
him
with your
quick, huh?
family. So, I mean,
That's fast.
I feel like Zapdos and Articuno would be like cancer. Like
But
cancer's-
we
Cancer's not
compare
that uncommon, you know.
No, so you want like something that's died out, like the Black Plague or leprosy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a legend.
Yeah, if you see someone walking around with the Black Plague, you're like, man, that motherfucker's caught something rare. The same way that you would say it if you saw someone walking around with Moltres or Articuno.
Damn.
Brilliant.
What have you guys been
Back.
doing to keep busy during COVID-19, during the quarantine?
Housework, man. We set out a big list of things that we wanted to get done around the house. Things like painting it. We've raised a roof for our shed.
Raised a
Lots
roof?
of different things. Raised a roof.
Yeah.
just a whole bunch of different kind of like jobs around the house. You know, it's a great time to be able to catch up on all that shit and get everything looking nice and pretty and do extra jobs around the house if you want to do.
I think it's definitely important to be doing stuff, you know, like doing
Yeah.
something productive.
We've made it in our household like between 9 and 4, where no computers, no TVs, no anything like that. So 9 and 4. So we're out doing something within that time, because otherwise it's just way too easy to sit inside and watch TV, play video games all day, and before you know it, you're going to be a fucking lard by the end of the 4 weeks. So
Well, on that, the weird thing is that's all I've been doing, right? Like, I've been waking up at like 9 a.m., playing till like 3 a.m., sleeping for 4 or 5 hours or something, and doing the same thing the next day, but purely because of how little food and resources at home we have and whatnot. We're making every meal count. We're trying to have 2, sometimes 3 meals a day, and they're all healthy. And there's no juice in the house or soda or whatnot. So I've been having healthy meals, less meals, and water, and sitting on my ass doing nothing. And I've lost 3 kgs in like a week.
hell yeah.
The ultimate weight loss
That
plan.
Just from starving yourself.
Yeah.
The less physical activity you do, the less you're going to want to eat, right? Because the more
That's it.
exercise you do, you're going to
That's
want to eat more. You're conserving resources. Really, we should all be playing video games.
Yeah.
It's all
Non-stop.
about the foods that you are eating, though. You know, your carb load in the morning to give yourself enough energy to be able to work throughout the day, so you can have your breads and shit in the morning, and then when it comes to the afternoon, you just have your chill ass dinner.
Did someone
And-
say bread?
Bread. And on that note,
Speaking of, well, genuinely, no, speaking of, the last time we saw Bread Boy, obviously, was just for a brief moment in Smoothie Sage Part 1. But we have had some talks in the pipeline. We've been working strenuously before the quarantine shut it all down to get Smoothie Sage Part 2 out. And that Smoothie Sage will be featuring a lot more of our friend Bread Boy.
Yeah, I agree. I think the audience will be excited to learn a little bit more of the history of both the characters. I know that the Smoothie Sage's powers, the crafting of his beautiful liquid delicacies, were the main subject of the first video. But I think they're really this is gonna be one for the fans of the Steveverse. It's gonna be one for the lore nerds out there who are really paying close attention. They're gonna enjoy the backstory.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. The part 1 seemed to be a direct follow-on, almost from the Porridge Pioneer. With the same sort of format. Small amount of lore at the beginning and end and whatnot. But the following projects are definitely backstory.
Much more
Current
lore
lore.
based. And I think much more entertaining as well.
Doing more skit kind of stuff, you know, rather than doing real life stuff. This is like proper acting and proper skit stuff. that
What?
we're getting
I wouldn't call it proper
Proper
acting.
acting.
But I get what you mean. Yeah.
I mean, Tom Hanks, you know, he might. I hate to say it, but he his clock might be limited. So maybe there's a spot open up
There's a
and we
spot
can
opening.
just step on in there.
The next Tom
We'll go
Hanks.
take Tom Hanks.
Simple Jack.
Going
Yeah.
to the moon with the
You
boys.
make me happy.
We're joining a
Which
stellar
got
list here.
copyrighted by,
Love you,
We
Tom
might
Hanks. Please stay alive.
Please
You
stay
can make
alive,
Toy
Tom
Story
Hanks.
films.
Tom Hanks, look, I'll tell you what. If you stay alive during
Yeah.
this COVID-19 pandemic, then you can come on the podcast at the end of it.
Yep.
Only if you stay alive, though.
And only if you
Jaystee
watch
just said he's going to donate $2 million
Yeah.
to Lifeline if Tom Hanks comes on the podcast. And
He's going to sell his parents' house
Yeah.
and pay $2 million for that.
I'm going to take out a loan, and I'll do whatever it takes, Tom Hanks. That's the
A
end
small
goal.
loan of $1 million.
Look
So
here.
you get
That's
Mr. Beast to
the-
pay
yeah.
for it.
Yeah, I'll get the partnership with Mr. Beast. I think that is the end goal. If podcast number 1, who knows where this will lead us, but if we can get Tom Hanks on the podcast at some point in the future, then we'll know we've made it. I
Yeah,
think that's the
that's
goal
it.
for
Yeah,
the
We're
channel.
at the top of the end.
Well,
the
with-
Misfits just got Mia Malkova, you know.
I
We could
saw
get
that, I know.
The thumbnail was perfect too. All the misfits
them
on the
behind
back
the
of the couch. Yeah, perfect. But on special guests, I mean, not without dropping anything too crucial, but we did have some sort of a plan looking forward for this content, this podcast content, to have some fellow YouTubers,
Yes.
entertainers,
Some fellow
Oh,
content
yes.
creators.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Some
Willy
innovators.
Bum
some bunny fuckers, if you will.
Some bunny fuckers.
Bum.
Yes, no, there
That
is.
is a very inside joke.
There's another YouTuber out there called Scrumpy Bear that we are petitioning to get onto the podcast, but that is a work in development. And I was also in contact with the guy who wrote the Willy Bum Bum song. A song for the generations. You know, I remember listening to it when I was about 8 years old.
Oh, mate, that's a banger.
It's an absolute banger.
It is.
Unfortunately, he's not very good at replying to messages, and I think I scared him off a little bit with how overly enthusiastic I was about him in general. But I
Is he
think
still making content?
I don't think so.
No.
If he is, it's like
Why?
not
Why would he?
not at all.
Peaked.
It's a tragedy.
Why would he? He dropped one and it's perfect. What's he gonna do from there?
He's already made
With
his
first one.
he's made his magnum opus already. There's no need to keep
Yeah.
creating.
Is what is his name? His handle? I don't know
His handle is Willy Bum Bum.
Willy Bum Bum's the
Of
song,
course,
but the guy who made it is, I think his name's Alien X Red Wolf or something along those lines. I've got it on my phone actually.
You really reached out to him for real?
Yeah, no, I found him on Instagram, and I sent him a few messages, but he just stopped replying. And this was a month ago or a couple months ago, back when the first ideas of a podcast was being thrown around.
Mm-hmm.
Alien Red Wolf.
I see.
Is that the original guy?
Yeah.
So there's a guy that re-released it on a YouTube channel called Willy Bum Bum, and that's had 28 million views. And his one's only had 71k.
Wow.
Stolen content.
Maybe I was just
Wow.
messaging some random guy.
You possibly could have been.
Shit.
Hey, bro, you want to come on the podcast? Who the fuck are
Gonna be
you?
roasted about content stealing.
Yeah. We could do some.
We could totally just bring someone on and just.
just a random person.
Just
Yeah.
to roast him.
I just lean out my window and start yelling, and whoever responds first, we'll get them on the podcast.
Alright, guys, welcome to the Jaystee podcast, episode 2. Here we have. Who the fuck is this?
Yeah, who are you again?
Here we have Greg from down the road. Greg, tell us
We
a little
might
bit about
get,
yourself.
I don't know. We could get quite a deep dive. We could all learn all about a stranger and however much time we have in an hour.
I think that'd
their
be
life
real
story.
interesting. Yeah, I like the idea of that.
All right, we'll put that one on the list.
Cool.
Put that one on the list.
Well, everyone just keep an eye out for strangers that are out and about.
Yes. Yeah, on the subject of the whole COVID-19 thing, so I was talking to my family today, and someone brought up the idea that people that there's like a supposedly a spectrum of people of how interested they are in the topic. Like some people who want to know everything about it, be super up to date, know what's going on nationally and internationally, and people who only want to hear about it at certain times, and don't want it to be like saturating their life and their media and things. But I don't know, is that reasonable? Do we have like a responsibility to should we all do we have a responsibility to stay informed, or
I think
are we allowed to be sick of it and just be like, oh my god?
I think you should definitely stay like informed with it. It's a pretty big international crisis that's happening at the moment. If it was maybe just a domestic thing that was going on, but the fact that pretty much every single country in the world is struggling from it, I feel like you should know what's going on.
Definitely. I think this is probably the biggest thing that's happened worldwide since the Second World War. Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is fair enough to be like, think about it.
What else has had the whole world involved with it?
What else? Yeah, literally
the Christmas special.
The Christmas. Okay, the second biggest thing to happen since World War II.
The second biggest thing to happen since World War II. Right.
Especially with the boys.
The third biggest thing to happen since World War II.
Armageddon special.
Alright, the fourth thing.
There's been a lot of big things that's happened since World War II. Alright. But I mean, just the scale of it. Like, New Zealand, the whole country has shut down. There's nothing happening in the country. Supermarkets are going, essential businesses are going. Apart from that, everything else is shut down. Italy, tens of thousands of people have died. It's the same in, I don't know about died.
Germany? I think Germany as well as...
Spain as well. Like, it's a massive worldwide... It's a pandemic. I think to a degree you're allowed to be a bit like, coronavirus, it's because it's been such a big point of conversation for the past month or so. But if you're sick of the coronavirus talk already, then you've got a long while to go before it becomes irrelevant. Like
maybe in 3 weeks. Ask the same question in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we'll see.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough. I don't know if it's the biggest thing since. Oh, sorry. You go, man.
Mine is very not interesting, but one of the great things that has surfaced from this whole ordeal is the lads shaving their heads. Now, I think this is a great movement, right? I don't think anyone here is going to do it, but the only reason I'm saying that, I just got a message from my uncle with a picture of his freshly shaven head. And he's got a serious tan line on his hairline. And his beard. He's got a tan line as if he was wearing big scuba goggles, right? The beard is white, the hair is white, where the beard and hair should be, and just his face around the eyes and the hairline and the nose, very dark tan. It's just funny.
Have you seen the size of this forehead, dude? I ain't shaving my head.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Charlie shaved his head. My older brother shaved his head. But his hairline is already quite... How do I say it? Receded. It's significantly back.
How do I say it?
You know it's bad if you're not saying receding. You said receded.
Yeah.
It's past tense. It's not in the works anymore. It's done. It's receded.
That's gone.
I saw that Frankie Muniz from Malcolm in the Middle shaved his head.
Yeah.
Recently. Yeah, he's been popping up everywhere. Have you guys noticed that?
Frankie Muniz.
No, I haven't heard of that name in years.
Those braces ads, he's popping up all over with that. And he's also got like an olive oils business on Instagram. And been following that. And then on his story, he's like got his like wife shaving his head off and doing like funny stuff with it, like making shapes and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just wonder if anyone's noticed that he's just popping up everywhere now for some reason.
I haven't noticed.
I think it's pretty funny. Some meme pages have picked up on it, and he's getting memed a little bit. But just wonder if people have noticed that. But it seems like I'm the only one.
You're a man of fine
niche.
taste, Kevin.
Yeah, sorry, we don't follow Frankie Muniz on anything.
Yeah, the only reason Frankie Moon. Yeah, his your whole Instagram is just filled
sponsored
with.
post up that just came up everywhere. So yeah, I don't know.
Maybe Frankie Muniz is targeting you with his ads.
Yeah, I know. Google's watching us. I have watched some Malcolm in the Middle analysis videos and stuff like that,
Oh my god.
unrelated to
Targeted
other
advertising.
sort of things. But I don't know. Google's watching us. They know what they want to advertise to us.
Frankie Muniz.
It's
Oh,
stage we're living.
loyal.
And he
I'm not
does.
surprised
He's not
at
trying
all.
to advertise a product. He's not trying to do anything. He's just trying to keep his image present in your mind. That's all he's. He's paying thousands of dollars to specifically target you.
But it's
I know,
working because now
I'm
it's
seeing it in my
shared
dreams.
Yeah.
Look at this exposure that
real.
Frankie
on-
Muniz.
That's the free exposure.
This is like the Agent Cody Banks Spy Kid movie kid,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
yeah, that's the guy.
Dude, Agent Cody Banks is coming for you.
Watch out.
Yeah,
Watch
he's
out.
He's hunting you down.
If there's one man that can beat John Wick, it's Cody Banks.
Yeah.
Or the curly-haired kid from Spy Kids.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Dude, when
Looking for
Tom Hanks died, Frankie Muniz will be the next Tom Hanks. It's
Frankie Muniz will take the mantle
as Cody Banks.
Oh,
So
what a
he can be
prophecy.
Tom Hanks.
as the best and most well-loved
Look into it,
actor in
man.
all of Hollywood. Frankie Muniz. First Tom Hanks, then Frankie Muniz.
Nice
So
tier
is
list.
That's
Is the
They can come
shaving head thing is that just people being bored, or is that people just like I need a
I
haircut?
think it's because,
I have to
like,
do it myself.
You're gonna be inside for 4 weeks, so why not have this as your time to do it now? You don't have to interact with people, so why not just shit?
Yeah.
your head for the
I don't think this is going to grow back.
Yeah, no, please don't. You gotta keep that shit. I'm going for the Armageddon beard, Gotta let this shit grow out
Armageddon
the whole
beard.
time. The Armageddon beard.
No, it's quite lucky. I got a haircut like 2 days before the news that we'd be going into lockdown got sent out, so I was quite happy with that. But I can imagine
beautiful timing.
if you needed a haircut and then you went into lockdown, unless you wanted to risk trying to give yourself like a remotely nice haircut, I think the safest option is just to get rid of it all and just see what happens.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Because I mean, I don't know if I speak on behalf of everyone here, but I've definitely wanted to just shave my head and see what happens in the past. But
Maybe
I'm
we should do
afraid
shaving with the boys.
shaving with the boys, yeah.
Now, boys, we're doing it right.
Has anyone actually done it? Has anyone actually shaved their head?
Only
right?
when I was like 6 or 7, I
Yeah,
used to get
I
the buzz cut
ended up-
haircut, but not for a long time.
No, I've never
Never done it
shaved.
once in my life. Always.
I haven't seen my chin for like years. So, I mean,
Yeah, I've always had long hair my whole life, so I've never wanted
okay.
to shave my hair.
Yeah. I'm still kind of hung up on the whole. This is the biggest thing since World War II. I can't let
what
that
else?
go
What
by.
else could have been? What else could have
The
been?
turn of the new millennium, the moon
What
landing.
happened?
That's
That,
just
that
a
united
normal.
all of us.
Those are
Kind of a
big
deal.
events.
The Cold
But
War.
did that affect everybody? Did that affect everybody? That's
Yeah.
just
Yes,
something that
everyone
you
was scared the Russians or America were going to blow the world up.
But it hasn't shut down the
Holocaust.
economy to the same degree that COVID-19 has.
Yeah,
It
not the
hasn't-
same. But if you want to measure it by the economy, then why not just look at like the 2008 housing prices? They had a similar drop. I don't know if it was a similar magnitude, but if we're going by the economy,
I mean, and
I
we still are very early days into this whole thing. It's been going for a while, but we're only at the very start of the lockdown. There are countries out there who haven't got their shit sorted out. This is going to get much worse before it gets any better.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
this
been
is
going
true.
for 4
This is
months.
true.
So
Putting that in space,
I
it's
think
been
it's
4
you
months.
can measure how big it is by the amount of memes.
yeah.
I think and there's been way more memes about this than like the moon landing. I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
I don't remember
Yeah.
any Cold War memes. I don't remember any
Well,
moon
because-
landing memes.
Maybe you weren't born. Maybe you're
No,
20
no.
years too late for that.
Definitely remember the World War II memes. That's why it was the last biggest thing. Can't remember the Cold War memes. Can't remember the 2008 housing crisis memes.
I don't think there were any 2008
COVID-19
housing
memes.
crisis
We got
memes.
the World War II memes.
Yeah.
2 big spikes.
Yeah.
That's not the first time this is. I don't think it had the same level of response, but it's not the first time there's been a major pandemic. It's probably the first one sort of within our relatively young lifetimes that we can remember. But I think SARS was during our lifetimes, earlier in the 2000s.
I mean, and swine flu, Ebola. But those weren't as
But it didn't
widespread.
affect everybody though.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That would be like limited countries that all got affected by that. This is a worldwide thing that
Yeah.
like, every country is in shock about.
I think.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think I agree with you. It probably is a little too early to make the call that this is the biggest thing since World War II. But I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years' time we're looking back at this and thinking, man, this really fucked us up big time, you know? I think if it's not the biggest thing since World War II, it's definitely in the top 3 already with the disruption it's called.
I sense a tier list coming on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think globalization has a big part to play in it, right? Just the fact that, like, if we compared this to, 5 decades, 10 decades ago, like, there wasn't the same level of international communication and travel,
That's exactly it. Now we
couldn't know what was going, like a century ago, it was very difficult to know, what was happening instantaneously on the other side of the world. But now, we're constantly connected, so we can keep up to date with these things. We see it as a worldwide picture as opposed to like our city or our town or our nation.
Yeah. And I think that's also contributed to the fact that it spread so much is because of how interconnected we all are, Like, if this was to break out even 50 years ago, 60 years ago, the amount of international travel that is being done today, I feel like, the rate of, this is probably quite a what's the word? Obvious fact, but the rate of transmission and how many people are being infected by this is obviously increased because of the amount of travel that is happening in today's world.
Well, not anymore.
Well, not anymore. No. And that's another good point. I don't know for sure, but this is, in my lifetime at least, the only time the borders have been shut down. Like, no travel, no planes, no nothing. That in itself is a very significant thing.
New Zealand history as well.
It's the first time power like that has ever been used in all of New Zealand, ever.
So that's that signifies something to the magnitude of the severity of this event.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, COVID-19, we can all agree, it's pretty fucking crazy.
Just a little bit.
Indeed. It is indeed.
Shall we? Kevin, did you say you had a tier list prepared about thick birds?
Yes, that's right. Yesterday I was thinking of things to make tier lists about, because this did come up in previous Jaystee meetings, and I realized that no one has made a New Zealand bird tier list. It's a pretty niche thing, but from what I've noticed in my times of studying New Zealand birds, just being interested in them in general, is that we've got a lot of thick AF New Zealand birds. And I'm just in case anyone misunderstands me, I'm not talking about birds as in New Zealand, human girls. I'm talking about legit birds as in our endemic avian creatures, just stuff birds. All right. Pretty much I put together one of those. I couldn't put it under any categories that were relevant for it. I had to go under anime and manga. That was the category. Because it's just the default one, and you can't put it under anything. I'm not sure how long it's going to be around, because they say they monitor it quite closely in case someone's making things that not in that
very nice.
in the character, not in the correct category. But they can't. If we're looking, I'm not sure if they're going to remove it in the sense that it's not being respectful content. But then again, if we're only not being respectful to New Zealand birds,
and I don't think New Zealand birds are going to say anything about it.
Kev, can you give us a bit of context? What are these
You guys are
categories?
cutting out, by the way.
What might it get taken? Have you uploaded it somewhere?
but I cut out just then. This internet is not very good. What were you saying? So Marty?
just give us a bit of context. You're talking about the potential for it to get taken down. Have you uploaded your tier list somewhere for the world to see?
Yes, I have. It's on
Screen share it.
tierlist.com.
Screen share it.
It's pretty easy to find. Just look up New Zealand bird thickness.
Is that was two C's, yeah?
Yeah, two
Two
C's.
C's?
all
Nice,
caps.
nice. All caps. Oh,
Oh, the thickness part is. I'm pretty sure.
just the word thickness. I like it.
Got it.
Double one.
They've got it.
New
up.
Zealand bird
New Zealand birds thickness.
thickness tier list. New Zealand birds tier list community rank.
Are you on tierlist.com?
No, I'm on Google at the moment. Let me head over
Okay.
to tierlist.com.
I'll take this opportunity to say, for those viewers, for our many international viewers that I know we have outside of the country, New Zealand is an isolated island nation. So most of our native animals are in fact birds that flew over here and then got fat and lazy and lost the ability to fly after millions of years of evolution. And so they've become somewhat of an icon. They're on all our money.
Yeah.
And the country even hosts I believe a government-run annual competition called New Zealand Bird of the Year, in which the entire nation may vote for their bird of choice. So this is a topic very near and dear to the hearts of us New Zealanders.
Yes.
So it'll be this is basically an academic discussion for us that Kevin is
Yeah,
about to find.
it totally is.
Things may get heated, things may get violent, but please bear with us.
Yes. It will be
I'm
Yeah.
struggling
Great.
to find this.
great debate, scientific debate for sure.
Kevin, how about you just walk us through verbally how
Yeah.
you rank?
Okay.
Give us-
Okay.
And make sure you include explanations for your decisions and where you've placed the rankings. Where you've placed the birds in the rankings.
That's funny because I've actually got the tier list right here.
Oh!
Can you screen share it? If you make the small screen and have a look next to the leave call thing.
His
it says
internet might
turn on
cack its
screen share.
pants if he tries to
Listening, screen share. Yep,
Yes.
this, and then So yeah, sweet. It's just, I'm just gonna press share, see what happens. Ah, here we go.
Who's that?
There we go.
I've been exposed.
Well,
Oh, nice.
I was gonna. How about I talk you through it?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
please.
100%.
Can you see it? Can you see it clearly?
yeah, I've got it full screen.
Okay, sweet as. And then after I've finished explaining it, we can you guys can
We can
give some
debate.
feedback.
Yeah.
We might end up changing some.
Is this open
and
to
having some
debate
scientific debates.
as we go through? Can we debate your choosings, or should we wait until the end? Because
I think we'll let Kevin run us through it. In the future, I reckon we should definitely make our own tier lists as a group and explain why we think things should go where, and then agree together and place things.
Yeah.
100%. That'll be a very good, top, bread tier list. That's
Hell
that
yeah.
kind of thing. Just
all right. Well, Kevin, how about you start off with your F tier? Work your way from the
Okay,
bottom
so
to the top.
on the F tier, I've got 4 birds that are just very small, therefore not that thick, in my opinion.
Yep, fair enough.
You can debate that, if they're, a bit round, in shape, thick for their size, but I've not gone that far. I just think they're small, therefore they're not thick. We got the fantail, we got the grey warbler, we got the hee-hee, we got the black robin, North Island black robin, I believe, or just North Island robin, and then we've got the Thicc, or otherwise known as the saddleback. I just didn't think this was that thick because it's bigger than the other birds, but it's pretty light for its size. It does not pack that much fat. So
Girth.
yeah, girth exactly. So that's my F tier.
all agreeable.
Yeah.
All agreeable.
Yeah, no, I like
First and
that.
foremost-
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Let me know if I've messed up. I need to change anything.
That's okay. I think we should go tier to tier. Once we
Yeah, I
we
agree.
each go around,
It is.
review what we think is
Yeah.
good, what we think.
Well, okay.
So,
Then, hold. Sorry. On that F tier, then the bird in the middle. I'm not 100% sure. That bird.
Yeah, this one.
That picture.
Hee-hee?
The hee-hee?
The hee yeah. Hee-hee.
Yeah.
That looks. He's pretty thick on that picture. He is small, I agree, but are we working with like thickness as in just pure mass, or
Yeah,
thickness
that's
to
the
size
thing.
ratio?
Yeah.
It's a debate, and I've got some ranked in places because that I've gone to later because of that. But yeah, that's a good point. I haven't looked into it too much. Do you think it belongs to the tier above just because it looks in that picture it looks thick?
I mean,
That's
it
the reason.
definitely looks thicker than the poo gecko above it. It is very voluptuous in that picture.
Okay,
I'm willing to back you on your choice here, Kev. I'm willing to back you on your choice.
because it still is very small.
But is it all about ratio, you know?
Yeah,
Just
what-
because it's a small bird doesn't mean it can't be thick.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Have you ever
that's-
seen a midget that's real thick?
Yes, straight up, yes. I call them thick jits.
Oh,
Fickle people.
Thickly. All right. Let's move on to E then. Let's
well,
keep
I
going.
mean,
Okay, we got
let's actually finish on that. I think most of the F tier is agreeable, but could we have a vote on who thinks the he should at least be E behind the poo gecko?
Bring it up, boys. Bring it up.
Hands up if you think
That's
he should
three
be
plus
raised.
me. That's okay.
That's
I'm
4.
a fan of the he.
I think the he is a little thick.
Okay,
Thicker than
okay.
F.
Hee for
I
you.
go in the E tier.
Mean. Nice.
Democracy.
Respect.
Okay, so on the other ones of the E tier, we have the Pukeko for obvious reasons, because it's just not that thick, man. It's from it, and there's one reason why it is, because it's very recently come to New Zealand from Aussie, and over there, I know. It,
Really?
no disrespect to Australians, but I'm just saying, your birds ain't that thick, okay? Your birds ain't that thick compared to New Zealand.
Nah.
Tell him, Kev. Tell him.
Look at those chicken legs. Look at how skinny those legs are. The fucking
Yeah.
poo gecko.
Great.
I honestly
it's-
think the poo gecko should be in the F tier, but I'll let you finish.
Ooh.
The Pukeko should be.
But if we are going,
I
by
think-
Sorry, yeah, we'll
Okay.
wrap up the E and then we'll evaluate.
It's slightly bigger than
Just
like.
hit him with the I'm gonna
very
let you
small
finish.
ones.
I'll let you finish, but that poo gecko should be in the F tier.
Basically, the Taki, you're the Pukeko. Taki is the girl. She tells you not to worry about whatever that means.
Yeah, no, I see that. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Anyway, and then we got the Morpork, aka Ruru. It's a small boy. It's not his fault. It's the way it is. It's
It's unfortunate.
yeah,
but
not much I can say on that. It doesn't quite deserve in the F tier because it's not tiny. It's got a little bit of thickness to it, but it's still undeniably quite small. We've got the Kokako, which it's big for a pass around bird, but still it's not for its weight compared to its size. It's not that heavy. It's not. I mean, it's. I'll give it one thing. It's not. It's too heavy to fry properly. I mean, that does indicate a bit of thickness. Maybe it's a bit
isn't
unfair.
that thickness? You know, can't
Yeah.
that be what it's thick? It's too heavy to fly, bro. It's too
Exactly.
Thick to
Yeah,
fly.
it can flutter. Yeah, I guess you guys are right. For that
but
reason,
that
they
just
will put
makes
up
it
a tier.
fat, not thick.
Yeah,
There
if
is a difference.
If we're going by that reasoning, all of us are too thick to fly.
Yeah.
We don't have wings.
Oh,
So-
you're right. We
We've
aren't
got big
avian
spines, though,
creatures.
so I don't know.
We got
And
dead
then,
spines.
Then the Tui, yeah, that's got it's slightly more thicker than the F tier, but not enough
Yeah.
to be D tier.
I mean, the Tui's got a bit of a chest on it, but apart from that, no,
Yeah.
I agree. It should be E tier.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I agree for the most part. The poo gecko, though, I can't get behind. I hate
happy
poo
with the
geckos.
gecko. He's not
I
happy at
hate
all.
them.
Hey, we don't put a personal opinions into this, you know. This
You're
is
right.
thick-
This is
Yeah,
purely
true,
thickness.
true.
But look at those legs. Look at those legs.
Yeah.
There is
are
no
right.
way you can
Birds
tell
got
me.
skinny legs. What do you mean?
All birds do have skinny legs, but the length of
I
those
think
legs.
if you look near the S tier, those are not some skinny legs.
No, no.
Those legs would like compete with some of our legs.
I mean, I'm gonna put the vote out there. I think poo gecko should be lowered to the F tier.
Yeah, I can see
Hands
that. I
up
can see it.
if you agree.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stick with Kev on this one.
My hand is down.
Hands
I'm gonna
down.
Stick with Pukeko
Okay.
on E tier, man.
Poo gecko.
Jumping
All right.
2 against 2.
That's
That's
two
two against four,
3.
isn't
2
it?
against 4.
Oh.
I think Pukeko stays.
Fuck. I hate
The
them.
Pukeko stays. Okay. I can't see a thing of you guys, by the way, so it's really you guys who've got to be making that
Okay,
concept.
all right.
Okay. That's
Well,
nice.
yeah.
All right, D tier.
Give us that D tier.
So D tier, we got the Wicker, which just based on its look and weight, it's still pretty small, it's pretty not heavy.
Could you, Kevin? Sorry to interrupt. Could you just cursor over each bird you're talking about, just so for the viewers?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
The
I don't
Wicker.
think international viewers will be super familiar with
Yeah,
native
yes.
New Zealand birds.
I'm not even
I'm not
super
even.
familiar. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck you're
Neither are
talking
we.
about.
Can you see my yeah? You can see my arrow, right? We're talking about the Wicker here.
I
can't
can't.
see it.
I was able to
can't?
see it earlier.
I'm going left to right. Okay.
Left to okay.
Okay,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So it's the
that's
most left one.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, with the Wicker, I just don't think it's that thick. We got the Kaka. Again, it's one of the smaller parrots out of the trinity of the Kia, Kakapo, and Kaka. It's the least thick. That's why it's in the D tier.
We'll get to the other ones later.
It's not too bad. It's a pretty thick parrot compared to most parrots in the world. For sure, all of them are, but it's for New Zealand standards, it's not. It's one of the less thick parrots. Then we got the gannet. I don't think it's that thick. I mean, it needs to be aerodynamic, so I get it can't be that round or anything. But yeah, I just thought that was a suitable tier for it. And of course, we got the Kokako, the aforementioned Kakako, which moved up because it was too heavy to fly properly. So, what do you guys think?
I like it. I
like-
agree
I
with
like
all
the
of them.
D. The D is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D?
I-
All right. Yeah, happy with the D
Personal
tier?
opinion, you guys don't have to jump on this if you don't want. I think the gannet is quite a slender bird. For
Yeah.
its size, it's larger than a tui, it's larger than Hihi, Pukiko, whatnot. But it does have quite, with its long neck and whatnot, a sleek figure, in my opinion. I'm wanting it to go down to the E tier, because I would even say the Pukiko is more thick than a gannet. But this is a communal decision.
Yeah, I see where he's coming from.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Say
Oh,
that
yeah.
sentence again, Kev.
I agree with you, Kev. I agree with you.
All in favor of moving.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Sorry, those points you raised, I think the gannet should be dropped to E. If Pukiko can be in the E tier, then I think the gannet
Yeah,
should
exactly,
be E as well.
exactly.
Definitely should be.
Let it go.
Okay.
Man.
Okay. So we're happy now.
While we're still in the detail, I want to put in a petition for the main man Weka to go up a place.
100%.
Is Weka the
That was
big-breasted
point I was
one?
gonna add.
The
Yeah,
Weka's
the one
that
that's on
big
the
old
left.
round one right next to the
Yeah, I reckon as well. I
I
think
think
the
they
Weka
could
should
go
be
up
up.
to B. You know, I
B?
think they could go- I
What?
think they could
Hold
even go-
on. I'm looking at the
I've seen
heavyweights in
Weka.
that B
They're
tier.
they're pretty damn round.
Those, yeah, look at that chunky man on the left.
Because it's all to proportion, you know. It's all to proportion.
It's true.
Yeah, but those guys,
No.
I think D. I think he should be raised, but not by 3 tiers. I don't think he's
No,
3
not by 3
tiers
tiers.
worth of thickness.
No. It's still
No.
still quite a
I'll just mute my mic. It's
still quite a short and light bird. So yeah, I'm not fully convinced, but if you guys think it should be raised one, definitely not raised
Evan,
two.
just for a bit of context, may I ask, in doing your research for this, did you actually look up the weights of some of these birds as part
Yeah,
of your...
I did. I went onto New Zealand Birds Online, and went a bit, and they actually have all the weights of them, and I did have to put some against each other just to make an informed decision.
That is
No,
when
'cause
you,
I know
Kev,
there's-
are a connoisseur and are the right man for this job.
With
I'm
all that being
still-
said, should we cast a vote for the Wicked to make a C tier appearance right at the end behind the pulpit?
Yeah, up it goes. Up
Yep.
it
Oh, okay.
goes.
Wait, C,
Yeah,
hold
six.
on, C. I
It's
think
C,
it should
Kev.
go
The
into.
Wick is
One
in D.
above.
The Wick
Wait,
is
wait,
in
wait.
D.
Which one's the Wicker?
Wick is in D.
Wick
on
is
the
Right
left hand
next to,
D.
it's the one
Ah!
closest to D.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I think C. Yeah,
It should go up.
yeah, I'd
We
go
were
up.
defending it going up not to B but to C, right
To
at
C.
the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I got 4 votes, Kev. You can, yeah,
I've
nice.
cut my losses on this one. Maybe I'm just a bit biased to the Wicker because I think just in general, Witters are dicks and no one really likes them. So maybe I was a bit biased there. Maybe maybe I should have been less superficial and focused on their thickness more. So,
You care too much about personality. Kid.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right,
So
C tier.
you guys ready for C tier?
I've born ready.
We're in the top
Okay.
half now.
C tier, we got the Paradise Duck, just because it's a bit of a round boy. It's you've all seen ducks. I want to include at least one duck in here, and New Zealand doesn't have that many thick ducks. They're more smaller, but I thought I'd include the Paradise Duck in. I think it's the C tier. But the Kia, it is thicker than the D tier. A lot of the alpine animals have to get fatter to deal with the cold heat, the cold climate in the places they live. So yeah, it's thicker than the kaka for sure. So that's what's in the C tier. A little bit of penguin. I put it here. Yes, it's the smallest penguin in the world. That might indicate, to some people not that thick, but it does pick a bit of fat. It's got to be on the water heaps. It's got to have a nice thick coat of fat in it. And I think, when it kind of cools up, it can look pretty thick sometimes. Low key thick. So that's good there. I don't need to talk about the record anymore. So that's my reasonings for that placing. What do you guys think?
Yep, I'm happy with that. I like penguins, so I'm
Yeah.
kind of biased to that.
Yeah.
Someone
I'm
speak
happy
up
with
if they
that.
disagree with any of this, but I think the entire C tier is a very, very agreeable.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I agree. I think C
Okay.
tier.
Yeah.
Kevin's happy about that one.
Nothing up, nothing down.
Yep.
You've done
Well,
well.
we did move something into it.
Well, yeah, but what he had was
No,
already
it's,
good.
it's agreeable.
Yeah.
The C tier, yes.
Great.
Yes.
I
Yes.
like hearing the boys happy. I am to please.
Right.
Yeah. Now we're getting into the real territory. This is,
Now
this
we're-
is from now on. It's the real ones.
These are some chonky fellas.
Yes, this is the elite, thick birds in these three tiers here. We're on to some real talk. The Kiruru. Is
And let
one,
me stop you immediately. but the Kiruru is a fucking thick bird, mate. Okay.
oh yeah,
He's right. He's
I
right.
do want to give you the grace of going through your tier list before I interrupt, but shit, dude, you got a Kiwi in the A and a Kiruru in the B, and I just think something's fucking up.
dude, that's a valid point there, because it's not. Of course, it's a lot smaller than all the ones in the A tier, and not as heavy as the ones in the A tier. But I understand where you're coming from. That was a very conflicting one for me. I ended up not being able to decide that I went with the B tier, but it's pretty thick for its size, for sure.
Very thick.
I'm not.
Dangerously thick.
So on that note, would anybody be opposed to moving up a tier?
I
No.
think Kiruru is definitely an A tier.
I think,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's.
If not S, it's an A tier. Purely going on body size to thickness ratio. Kiruru,
Okay.
in
Kiruru,
my opinion,
yeah.
if I made my own tier, it would be the top S tier thick bird.
All right, it's going up. It's going up one.
Oh.
Well, yeah, and then for the other one, I got the yellow penguin, just because that is, it's thicker. It's thicker than the blue penguin, because it's the New Zealand's biggest penguin. It's no emperor penguin, but it's the biggest in New Zealand, and and for some certain angles, it can be pretty thick. So
And I mean, look at it lying down there. That's completely,
Yeah.
that's its belly on the floor there. That's quite a rotund
Yeah,
belly.
exactly.
So I
Oh
agree.
yeah, 100%. Its head is closer to its spine than it is to its stomach.
Yeah.
It's seriously off the ground.
That's how fucking thick that bitch is. So I agree with all one of the birds in your B tier at the moment.
okay. Alrighty, so
Now we're
see
in the
that's
A tiers.
that's how high these birds are regarded. They have the majority. They have to skip a tier to actually be done justice for them. In my opinion, but we'll see. We'll see if you guys agree with that. We got the kakapo. That is the look. You can't argue with this. It's the thickest parrot in the world. The thickest in the world. It's scientifically proven. There's not one single other parrot that can go clash this bird right here. Okay, I think that was an appropriate choice. Next one, we have the Takahi, which
It looks like a ball.
Yeah, that is
It's
round.
I did intentionally show thick pictures to
Yeah.
really bring my point home that these are thick birds. Taki is the pukiko, but thick. by definition. It came to New Zealand. It lost the ability to fly, and ate a lot, and is living its best life.
Yeah,
From all I'm
it's
concerned.
retired away to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So yeah, for obvious reason, Taki has to be in the A tier, at least. So we have the southern royal albatross. We're moving to the right. Royal southern albatross. I think it's the biggest of the albatrosses. Comment if I'm wrong on this, but it's a massive bird. It's a massive bird. Its wingspan is insane, and as well as that, it's because it needs this massive wingspan because it's so damn thick is why. So that's why it's in the A tier. Then we have the Kiwi, just because it's a very round boy for sure. Packs a lot of fat. We don't need to talk about much. It's just it's very spherical. That's what I'm saying. And then we got the Kiridu, of course,
Which we have already argued for. Boy. Yes.
And can I just add before we talk about it, kakapo can actually make themselves even thicker when they want to breathe because they fill themselves up with air. I would chuck a picture up right now to see, but they look like a freaking ball that's just been blown up. It's insane.
Big thick
so they just keep getting thicker if they want to.
Well, Kev, I like them. I gotta say, I do like the majority of the A tier. However, the albatross, don't get me wrong, the albatross, it's a big bird. It's a fucking massive bird. And the wingspan doesn't deny. But what we're rating here is thickness. And if anything, I see a pair of abs. I see some abdominal muscles on that albatross.
You can still have abs and be thick.
You can still have abs and be thick. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. However, in comparison to the rotundness and the sheer girth of the other birds, I think the albatross falls more into just the big boy zone than the thick zone. And I think it would be more suitable in B. I think it would definitely be more suitable in B tier.
Yep. Well, I actually agree with you on that one because I was having trouble deciding which one it went into, and looking back, I think the B tier might be more appropriate. So, does anyone disagree with that?
No, I completely agree.
Sweet. It's going down.
Hell yeah.
Sticking to the A tier, I do have one thing. Three of us very recently have witnessed in person the thickness of the Taki, and
yes,
I can't see that image clearly enough in S tier. I'm not sure what it is. It might be a mold or something. But in my opinion, New Zealand birds, Taki is the one bird that beats the Kiridu in thickness, and that's personal opinion.
Oh, he's gone.
And we've completely lost him.
We lost him.
Really offended him.
That's quite inopportune timing.
I cut out a bit. Sorry, guys.
He's just like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah. Fuck you. I'm out.
Takehi's S tier. Nope. See you.
Okay. We'll discuss that. We'll go through the S tier now. It's just the South Island.
Make sure to chuck screen share.
Hold on, yeah. Before you do that,
whoops.
I think moving something, especially into the S tier, that's quite quite a significant, a monumentous jump.
A is good. A is really good, but S is
the best. S is the peak.
Yeah.
So I think
I'm fully aware of that.
Before we make the call of if Takahe is A or S, I think we should, Kev, you should pull up some more thick Takahe pics so that we can evaluate what the best call is in that regard.
What happens if you Google that?
Can
Thick
I get
Takahe pics.
a backup from Marty and Kev, who've recently seen these guys in person with me? Body size, like the size of the bird itself compared to how round, circular, and thick the motherfucker is. You guys surely agree that it's a tier above even the Kiridu itself.
Could we put it to the top of A tier then? Rather than it being into S tier, but put it at the top of the A tier.
Yeah, we could do. Are you guys seeing the pictures I'm bringing up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's not S tier thick.
I don't think that's S tier. That is
These
big.
pictures are not S tier thick.
This is.
I mean, in terms of just progression of thickness, if we compare it to its most well, I think its most recent ancestor, the Pikiko, it is significantly thicker.
Yes, it is
Well,
significantly
there's a
thicker than the
comparison shot
Pukeko.
directly below Kevin with Pukeko
Yeah.
and the Takahe
Oh yeah, exactly.
right alongside each other.
Yeah.
It is a bigger bird, don't get me wrong. However, I think that it's not an S tier bird. I don't think that that is thick enough to be the thickest of the thickest New Zealand birds. It's certainly
found
thick,
one.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, for sure. Like,
Like,
look
I
at
get that, but
legs.
I don't know if S, man. I don't know if it's-
Okay, well, the only reason I'm bringing it up and thinking it should be in the S tier is just because of recently seeing it in person and being, quite frankly, fucking blown away by its thickness. Okay, and that's just straight up truth. I'm sure
It's-
Marty and Kevin would
that-
agree on. Whether it's
it's
S
gotta-
tier or
I-
not, definitely up for debate. But
I
that's
agree because I don't think the pictures do it justice. For
definitely
sure.
not.
It's
No,
just,
definitely not what we just.
it's just like
looked at.
people
It
who
does
see
not.
everybody who's ever seen the Grand Canyon, I've never seen it, says that no picture at all does it even close to becoming justice. You know, close to doing it justice, rather. And I mean, he's got a put. It does look pretty damn thick in real life. It's got some girthy legs for sure, and I mean, you know, you compare it to the Pikiko. I mean, it's
The
It got
Takahe is
thick.
definitely the Grand Canyon of New Zealand. That's
Yeah.
for sure. I think we can all agree on that.
I like how you're comparing the vastness of the Grand Canyon to the thickness
Yeah.
of the
Well,
Takahe.
the Takahe's a big motherfucker.
Here's where I see. I see where you're coming from, Quinn. I could see how both the Takahe and even the Kereru there could make it up to S tier, but then we have to look at who is in S tier, and like I almost feel like it's a matter of respect because like I almost feel like we need like a couple seconds silence because the boy Moa, he was out there striving. He was out there doing it before anyone else was. You know, getting
That's
hunted, giant
He
eagles
deserves
ripping
his
them into
own
the
tier.
sky. I almost
Yeah.
feel like that's basically like sacrilege to put anything else in the same tier as the Moa.
I agree.
Right?
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, actually, give me 1 second. But if we're going into, I just saw the chat. Jesus Christ. If
That's a
we're-
thick bird.
That's
That's a thick bird.
If we're going into extinct birds from New Zealand that were horrendously thick,
yeah, true.
there is a specific eagle
Oh yeah.
The Haas
that is
eagle?
Yeah.
I thought
massive.
about putting that in.
Okay,
Is that the Haas
Kev, pull up the pics. Pull up.
Let's see it. Let's see
pull
it.
it up, Kevin, because that, if
Haas.
anything belonged with the Moa and S, it's an addition of the Haast eagle.
Edition of the Haas Eagle. It did cross my mind putting the Haas Eagle in there, but you know, a massive
like how-
wingspan and all that kind of thing.
Would
Sorry,
it not work
all-
in the same thing as the albatross?
All of your previous searches are bird related.
I never said I didn't do my research, guys.
You gotta trust this man, okay? He knows what he's talking about.
Okay.
Okay,
So we
look at that
gotta-
third picture there. It's right next to a Moa, and it's the same goddamn size.
But is this not the same as what it would be for that albatross? Like, just because it's got a big wingspan and a big bird.
Yeah.
It's
doesn't
not
make it a thick
necessarily
bird.
thick. Look at the body. Look at the body compared to the moa. And that pic right there,
Yeah.
the moa look at how chunky it is. Look at how much
Yeah.
junk it's carrying. It's got an ass. That's how thick it is. It's,
Yeah.
it's literally it's rotunding. It's protruding.
Yeah, like the Haas eagle, as you can see, is badass, but I don't know if it's the.
Mm,
A tier. A tier.
It's up there,
Uh,
Me too.
but it's not S tier. I
Well,
think the
For a
moa
minute- for
is exclusively reserving that spot.
it's a difficult
Yeah.
one having the Moa there.
But then if we go in, yeah, and there were some pretty. I'm only including like I guess it is a well-known, bird, the Haas Eagle for sure. But I just didn't think it was. I just think it was that thick.
Mm.
Other than the fact,
It's big. It's big, not thick.
so yeah, that was my reasoning going into that. Are you guys there, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
can't see.
Yes.
Okay, sweet. We cut out again.
All right. Let's hear your reasoning for the S tier, Kev. Let's get that moa.
It's there. So I just thought, I mean, for all the reasons we've heard Marty discuss, and just because it's the biggest moa, this is the South Island giant moa, which is said to be the biggest moa of them all. Therefore, the thickest as far as I can see, and I just wanted to put it in S tier because it went extinct because its success and thickness was the result of why it ultimately got hunted to death because it was just too good for this world, and it could not coexist with humans because it was too thick for us not to take advantage of it and just exploit it to the point of extinction. So if that's not and that's really my reasoning. It's just too good for this world, and yeah, it's what I feel like is the thickest bird of that has ever lived in New Zealand.
I agree.
I can agree with
I
it. I can
agree.
agree with that.
Yeah, with that.
It's a strong case. It's hard to argue with that, Kev.
Yeah, and of course this is just a select few New Zealand birds. There's loads and loads of more New Zealand birds I could have chose. Loads more extinct thick birds as well. Let's not forget. I've got like honorable mentions like there was that massive penguin. I think it was called Waimanu. It was this insanely big penguin, and it just again I think it was a victim of its own success. But it just was too big to survive in the wild. It naturally got extinct, but I mean that would have been pretty damn thick as well. So of course I'm not covering every single extinct thick bird or every thick bird that's extant either that's living, but this is just a selection of the sort of most well-known ones.
And I think Moa deserves to be S, by itself up there. That is our god. That is our leader.
Moa
I
is
don't
our
think there are any
king.
contenders. Yeah, and if you were doing a tier list of more thick birds, then the F tier, if we're talking on a global scale of thick birds, the F tier would have things like the albatross and the blue penguin, and the fantail and the tui and the gannet just wouldn't even be thought of. Just because they really can't. If you're thinking on a global scale, the moa might not even be.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean the bigger
Moa's pretty big.
I think
sort of extinct birds.
Moa's pretty big.
Well, yeah, then we get things like the elephant bird and all that on like
Exactly.
S tier, like the extinct ones that were extremely thick. For sure, yeah. I know what you mean, and I think what's the thickest bird that's living today? Oh, biggest bird anyway that's living today is it the ostrich?
Yeah, it's probably. Yeah, I think you're
or
right.
an emu.
Big bird from Sesame Street.
Oh yeah,
It's even in the name, like
Big
you can't
bird.
deny that.
Yeah.
His name
Yeah.
is Big Bird.
I don't know any other birds that refer to their thickness in their name except the big bird.
Some strange
That's how
names.
fucking thick he is.
Point of contention there. I'm pretty sure there is specifically a giant moa. Is there not that has giant in the name?
Still exists to this day. Giant lemur. What's this one?
Probably a giant lemur.
Oh,
I wonder what the giant lemur is.
So any extra? Are we moving on from the tier list, or any last closing remarks anyone wants to make?
I think with this new kind of, display that you didn't originally pick out, Kevin, even though you originally made the list, I think you should close it out however you feel on the changes we've made and the final outcome.
Okay. Well, yeah, I agree with you guys. You've opened my eyes a little bit. It was just my biased opinion first, obviously, and I did my research of what weight they were and all that. Put that into my decision, but obviously that does not dictate thickness, as we have learned on this podcast. And I think I'm happy with the calls everybody's made. We come from New Zealand. It's a land where food is plentiful, and the predators, mammalian predators, are very low. I mean, until humans arrived and all those other ones arrived, of course,
Or
and
some out in
just
town.
ruined everything. But we were, it's a real testament to New Zealand's unique environment that we could have the amount of thick birds we have today, and I'm very, very grateful and proud to be of the country that is home to many thick birds. So we'll close this tier list, and I am I'm very happy that this question got answered once and for all. It's been in my mind for a long time. What are the thickest birds and
I'm
what
glad that we
toes?
could help you with that now.
Oh yeah, thank you,
Yes,
Kevin.
I'm
For,
just grateful. Finally got that on my
Yeah.
put that on my chest. I can. I'm gone and live the rest of my life now.
nice.
Bravo, Kevin. Bravo.
Thank you, Kev.
Very well done.
Thank you.
Well, I think we could start wrapping things up there then. I think some COVID-19 discussion, a little bit of New Zealand bird thickness tier listing. I think that's a great first podcast right there, guys. And for me personally, I'm excited to see where this podcasting journey takes us all the way onto the doorstep of Tom Hanks's house. Once we make it there, then we know that we've made it.
We get Joe Rogan on our podcast.
Yeah. Jay and The Stees
That's an
Experience
alpha move.
featuring Joe Rogan.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. No. Does anyone else have any closing remarks that they wish to remark?
Nah, man.
Tune in next time.
Stay
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Stay home.
Kia kaha, New Zealand.
Yep.
We do have more.
Wash your damn hands.
Wash your damn fucking hands.
Stay at home.
We've got lots of content planned and lots of content that will be coming out to you guys at home. So you'll have no reason to leave the house because of the amount of Jay and the Stees that you'll be seeing. But for now, kia kaha. Thank you for listening to the very first Jay and the Stees podcast. And we will see you next time this podcast takes air.
All together now. Bye.
Bye. Goodbye. Bye.
We'll get better at that.
We'll work on that.
Yeah, we'll
See ya.